Hey, Verballers. Before we play back the live Fantasy Things draft we did a few weeks ago in Chicago, a quick note from our friends over at the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. Do you think that driving drunk or drug impaired is okay? The truth is that your reaction times slow way down when you're under the influence. You're not only putting yourself in danger, but also everyone around you. Remember, if you feel different, you drive different. If you drive high, you'll get a DUI. Learn more at nhtsa.nitsa.gov. Without further ado, the 2018 Fantasy Things Draft.
Welcome to the Solid Verbal. The Solid Verbal.
Come after me! I'm a man! I'm 40!
I've heard so many players say, well, I want to be happy. You want to be happy for a day? Eat a steak.
It's that woo.
Live from the Bidham Theater in Chicago, Illinois, it's the 2018 Fantasy Things Draft. Presented by the Solid Verbal. And now, your two hosts for the evening, Ty Hildenbrand and Dan Rubenstein.
We should have prepared.
Can everybody hear us okay?
Yeah, no, nobody can hear us. Great, perfect. Let's just do this for us. Okay, before we begin, you should know that you would have been the only audience to hear this show if not for Ty saving the day with literally 2 minutes before you walked in. So
It was a close call.
just give it up one more time for Ty Hildenbrand. Also, before we begin, I had forgotten about the Star Fox theme song that just played. That's what that was.
Did anybody pick up the Star Fox theme there? Yeah.
Okay,
Anybody else
right here.
Star Fox?
Let's get Ty's mic up. He's got a lot to say today.
Check.
There he is. Right after I finished complimenting Ty's audio skills. Ty had no working microphone.
All right, now we're good.
Okay, so I just want to shout out that somebody put woodland creatures behind the wheel of a fighter jet and thought that was a wonderful idea. Thank you. Anyway, so as you can see behind us,
Fantasy Things.
the Fantasy Things Draft. We do it every year. Somebody probably dragged you here and you're not fully sure what we're doing, and that's fine. That's normal.
How many people are here against their will?
Yes.
And that's there's a little bit of a scowl going on too, which I appreciate.
Yes.
So here is what we do with this show.
We just got to win her over. That's it.
We're going to try.
Yeah.
Here's what we do with this show. People have heard of fantasy football, fantasy sports in general. We thought it'd be fun to, instead of pick players or coaches or teams to put on any kind of fantasy roster, instead we're going to pick things. We're going to pick storylines. We're going to pick tropes, things that announcers say, funny things that might happen throughout the course of the season.
Yeah.
And we're going to make our own pretend teams using those things. Hence, Fantasy Things. That's where it comes from.
We're adults.
Yes.
We're making our own secret rosters,
Blazing
of
our own trail
stories. Yeah.
So with that being said, we're trying to do a show for everybody. So if you are here,
Come on in. Plenty of seats.
If you are here against your will, we're going to do our best to make it a fun show for everybody involved.
Yeah, we've got a couple of guest commissioners. Hopefully they're here. If not, whoops. We're going to draft storylines. As you can see, tweet, throw things on the Instagram. It's what the kids do. We're getting chicken tenders afterwards. Come out, tenders with Ty and beer and everything like that.
That's the way this works, yeah.
I don't know. Should we just go? Any other announcements?
I think we should just do it.
Okay, all right. I think
it?
the women's bathroom is on the 3rd floor. The men's bathroom is on the 2nd floor.
The important things are out of the way. Please make sure you...
Other way. I'm told the other way. This section is very helpful tonight. Okay.
So, if we could get a round of applause to get this thing started.
Yes. So, We did this last year, and as you know, when a commissioner comes to the podium at the NFL draft, it's not a super happy time.
No.
People love to boo the commissioner.
Please boo lustily when we have our guest commissioners up here.
I am going to be announcing the first pick, which is Ty's pick, correct? And I think it would only be right if, there it is. When I say the pick is in, you're going to hear a sound, and I'm going to walk to the front, and I'm going to announce the first pick. You don't need to boo the rest of the announcements, but just the first one. I want
Just
that
the first
texture.
one, to prove
I
a
want
point.
that flavor.
Just for the people listening at home, yeah. That'd be
Taylor,
good.
are you ready? Here we
Giving us
go.
a thumbs up. All right.
All right. The pick is in. You know, even though it was a joke, it hurt. It did hurt. Okay. So, with the first overall pick in the 2018 Fantasy Things Draft, Ty Hildenbrand has selected Jimbo Fisher's contract. There it is. Let's give it up for Jimbo. Ty, it's a strong pick. It's not the strongest we've ever had.
No.
I think it'll pay dividends. Explain.
Here's the rationale. So we have a diehard group of verballers who listen, and they actually keep track of this madness on our subreddit, which is phenomenal. Thank you if you're out there and helpful and part of this little madness that we've created.
Yeah.
I lost last year.
Yeah, you did.
It was close, but I lost. And I lost because I picked stupid things that were only mentioned or referenced throughout the course of the season a handful of times, maybe in the beginning, maybe at the end, but not throughout, like some of yours. So I ended up losing by a couple points, mainly because of that, which means I got the first pick. So we're going to go through some here that I think definitely have more potential.
Yep.
But I wanted to go with Jimbo Fisher's 10-year, $75 million contract.
Yeehaw.
Because peeps are going to talk about that.
Yeah.
That's a lot. So
It seems.
Kirk Ferentz is contracted through 2075, I believe.
Okay. Yes.
If memory serves.
Okay.
But he probably won't earn $75 million between now and then.
I would assume so.
Jimbo Fisher checks both of those boxes. Both of those boxes. And we're in a position where people just are enamored with sports contracts.
Right.
So there are going to be segments that talk about Jimbo Fisher's contract.
Second guessing
The contract. There are clearly going to be added pressures from having that contract. It's going to be a very in vogue thing to mention, to write about, and hopefully to get me points.
Yes. The great thing about this specific deal, and it doesn't happen with a lot of schools, if any, is when he took the job, everybody was immediately down in Southeast Texas, was like, is he Texas enough? And then as you can see, he was like, no, I can hold boots. I can definitely, and then do you remember the message board post? Like, how is he going to get along with Reveille?
Yeah.
Because Reveille knows if he's not a real Aggie, Reveille's a dog. So I like the fact that this might start a trend of coaches having to prove that they are geographically
like a hazing of sorts.
Right, that they are good enough for that crowd. Like I would want a new Washington coach to hold up a Chinook salmon. Take a big bite, like, no, I am Pacific Northwest enough.
You're right.
Vermont Lake.
So here's the operative question then.
Yeah.
Does this all go to a place where we see a game day segment of Jimbo Fisher riding a mechanical bull?
Oh, please no. We don't need
And what does that look like?
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that, because my pick is undulating Jimbo Fisher. No, I really gave it a lot of thought. Like, I want the next Ohio State coach. We're not going. I want to take a bite out of one of those butter sculptures. Really prove.
Yeah. Really
I learned about that recently. That was
into it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So good overall first overall
pick.
I would
solid.
say. Yes.
It's solid.
I think you're gonna do well.
All right.
I'm ready for my pick.
Give it up for Jimbo Fisher.
He could buy and sell all of you.
So now you don't have to boo me.
No.
You could if you want. You don't have to.
No.
Are you ready to make your pick?
I'm ready. Pick is in. Whoa! Thank you.
With the second overall pick in the 2018 Fantasy Things Draft, Daniel Rubenstein selects strength coach has a screw loose.
Yeah!
So,
Okay.
if I could give just a little bit of context.
Okay.
If I could give a little bit of context here.
Bad week.
Bad week. Bad week. We did our draft last night.
We're about to become human, I swear.
We sort of planned things out a little bit last night.
Yeah.
And when this one came up, you can ask your wife, I lost it. Yeah. I was chuckling heartily when this one came up. So explain to me what this means.
So the asterisk here is non-awful strength coach things. Victimless strength, like just when a strength coach destroys a trophy,
right,
or goes to Hawaii with bands to get jacked in Hawaii. This guy specifically, Aaron Feld from Oregon, the new hire, comes over from Georgia, a ridiculous mustache, posts ridiculous things, is great, as far as I know.
Right.
So, anytime any strength coach does, like if guys are lifting Halloween week in Marvel costumes, I want in on that action.
Okay.
You can tell, obviously, look at me, as a substitute teacher looking idiot, that I feel confident that maybe not Aaron Feld alone, but Scott Cochran at Alabama, LSU's got a couple of weirdos, all over the SEC. I mean, I could say LSU has a couple weirdos, and it doesn't matter what I'm referring to. I'm going to get points with this, just out of his Instagram account alone.
You showed me his Instagram, which I was not familiar with.
Feel the sleeves.
Do you remember those old, like, 1990s WWF interviews with Mean Gene Okerlund?
Of course.
It's like that, but all the time.
Yes.
With
There's
him.
no off switch.
Just remarkable.
Yeah.
So if they're all like him, which I know they're not, but most kind of are.
Yeah, there's a little...
Just that there is...
Again, positive, victimless.
A little bit.
Yes.
It's a good pick.
Bad week.
A lot of upside there.
Yes.
A lot of upside.
I'm happy with it. So it's my pick once again, right?
It's your pick.
We're
So give
back.
the stash a round of applause, please.
Aaron Feld.
So we call it the Fantasy Things Draft, which means we have to do the weird serpentine thing, even though there's only two of us.
There's only two, yeah.
Which is awkward, and we still get it wrong, but I feel like we did a good job planning it out this time.
So far, so good. I think we're killing it.
You get 2 picks in a row now is what this means.
Yeah.
So your first pick was the Screw Loose, which is awesome. And this hurts.
I like that you're going up every time. That was just supposed to be a one-time thing.
No, let's. These people paid money, so.
Ty Hildebrand. Yeah, come on. No, boo him again for that. Oh my God. That boo is real.
It was with the third pick of the Fantasy Things Draft. Dan Rubenstein selects Welcome Home Scott Frost.
Yeah.
This hurts.
Yeah.
I would have taken this.
Okay. No, you're right. You should have and would have, but we discuss this in advance. Every week during the Nebraska broadcast, somebody is going to say, we have a couple broadcasters here, they will affirm that, they'll be like, oh, Scott Frost obviously played for Nebraska. Scott Frost is coming home. That's not what will count. That's too easy. After last year with...
So you're purposely limiting yourself.
I am limiting myself.
Whoa.
Yes. As a generous champion... I want to be
low
more,
for this show.
Because last year we had like the commercial thing, we had Tom Rinaldi tearjerkers. It was too often.
Okay.
Like we wanted to be special like snowflakes that give us points. So what has to happen is not just does an announcer reference the fact that Scott Frost used to play and is coming back home to Nebraska and to Lincoln, but we have to see a picture of him playing in a Nebraska uniform. And there must be belly button. There must be, because if you look up his playing photos, it's a lot of big this and just a little itty bitty bit of belly button.
There.
So I wanted to, and Ty wouldn't let me write Scott Frost's belly button because it needed too much explanation, but that's the qualifier, I'm happy to say.
See, I feel better now that you are specifying the belly button. Not because I'm interested in the belly button per se, but mainly just because you're leaving points on the table.
Yeah.
So Scott Frost, for those wondering, playing the home game, is the new head football coach at Nebraska. He played at Nebraska. He was a successful coach at Nebraska. After leaving Nebraska, he went into the coaching business.
Well, he played in the NFL.
Played in the NFL. Yeah. We won't talk too much about that.
Come on.
He was very successful as an offensive coordinator, was very successful for national champion UCF last year.
Boo. I hate a tiny school in Orlando. Yeah.
And now he's head football coach at Nebraska. They were after him from day one. They get their guy. So you're going to see, even if you don't see belly button, there are going to be a lot of those cheesy, like, welcome home Scott banners. Someone's going to fly a plane over the stadium, welcome home Scott.
Somebody has already robbed his house.
Yeah.
No, that is true.
It was like a 14-year-old
17-year-old girl. Yeah. Welcome home.
Well, welcome home, Scott.
Did you ever watch the show Ed on NBC?
Yeah.
This is like a rich man's Stuckyville. I don't know who Carol Vesey is in this situation, but shout out everybody who watched a pretty good show on NBC 15 years ago. The pick is in.
The pick is in. Scott Frost, ladies and gentlemen.
This is a good pick. So with Scott Frost off the board, Ty had to recognize that a run had to be made at a... What was that?
Feeling it.
Yeah, sorry.
Feeling this pick.
Ty recognized that a run was about to happen, and Ty has selected Kyler Murray plays baseball. But I think this needs a qualifier too, Ty, don't you think?
Yeah, I think we need to see photos of, in the spirit of what you've already put forth here now with Scott Frost.
Right.
I think we need to see photos of Kyler Murray in a baseball uniform.
Little League.
Specifically in a baseball uniform. I don't care what kind it is.
Right.
It could be Halloween dress up. But in the spirit of what you've done, we need to go Kyler Murray in the baseball uniform. So Kyler Murray, again...
You feel strongly about this.
I feel
like
very
this.
strongly about this pick. And when I put it on the list, I'm not sure you wanted to go with it because we've already talked a lot about it in the offseason. It's been a big thing. But Kyler Murray also plays baseball. He's not unlike a lot of really talented college athletes in that he's good at another sport. It just so happens he's really freaking good at another sport and was drafted 9th overall in the Major League first-year player draft. Now, being so, he's also a quarterback for a D1 school. This forced a decision. A lot of times this decision comes before they ever get to school. In his case, somehow, some way, he not only got a $5 million contract from the Oakland Athletics, but he also brokered a deal in which he gets to play only one year of football.
Yep.
How is that possible?
I don't know. It's very
football.
Unusual.
This isn't pillow fighting, it's football. So I read quotes from people in the A's front office, and it's not clear to me that they weren't strong-armed by Kyler Murray's agent.
Yeah, of course.
Because they're like, oh yeah, like the risk is totally outweighed by the fact that he's a really good baseball player, and he rakes on the baseball diamond. But you would think that there would be a little bit more hesitation, maybe draft him like 19th. But 9th overall, he's getting a $5 million guaranteed contract. Wow, that is a huge risk.
It's a big risk, and it's unusual in that almost as if you had proposed to somebody, and they were like, yes, but I'm going to take like a year. Brad just got us tickets to Italy. I've never been to Italy. I kind of want to find myself. I'm going to take a pasta making class, and I think everything should be good when I get back from Capri. I think.
Right.
But who's to say?
Hey, we just don't know.
Right.
I also think the real story here, the real hero of the story, is Kyler Murray's agent, who they should write Art of the Deal 2 about, for getting this sweetheart deal for the client. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm not sure Kyler Murray's going to make it through the whole year.
Yeah.
Because if he gets nicked, what will their threshold be for leaving him in to play through the pain, that sort of thing? But, yeah, Kyler Murray baseball outfit is going to be something I think we see a lot of. So even though I didn't get Scott Frost, I feel pretty good that this could be just as successful.
Yes. That's a good pick. I think you're going to be solid with that one.
2 solid picks.
Yeah.
Solid verbal. Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray. I like this one too. I'm not going to come up one more because my heart hurts getting booed. The pick is in. All right, so we made a run at the obvious ones. We each have one on the roster. We're going to go with a cliche with this one.
Mano a mano.
And this is yours.
This is mine.
You have chosen the backups might start for, I don't know, like 100 other teams. The backups might be better than the starters for everybody else.
Somewhere the backups are better.
These guys could start for anyone else, but unfortunately.
So I think the qualifiers here.
I think that might be Tanner McAvoy. Can a Wisconsin person... Stop it!
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That plays. So...
Which, by the way, Joel Stave could not have started for other teams.
He's giving us... He's saying...
Yeah.
No more Stave.
Probably nice.
Remember when Joel Stave had the yips?
Yeah, you love the yips.
I love the yips.
If you could draft the yips every year, somebody becoming mentally weak, you would bathe in that.
I would draft the yips every year.
Yeah, I know.
If I could.
Yeah.
So the qualifiers here, I believe, where we're going to see this if we see this.
Yeah.
All of Alabama's second team. Yes?
Roll Tide. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
All of Clemson's second team.
Yep.
All of most of Georgia's second team at this point.
Yeah.
And then we've got a bunch of other interesting scenarios around college football. We've got the Texas quarterback situation.
Who doesn't want Shane Buechele? Everybody's raising their hand. If you're listening to this at home, everybody wants Shane Buechele.
We've got the Ohio State situation just in general, which...
Oh, wow. That was such a good... Okay, good moment of silence.
Yeah, just pause.
Wow. No, you guys nailed it.
So there are plenty of guys on
You're
Ohio
taking the air out of the room, yeah.
There are plenty of guys on the Ohio State roster, but I think we've come to a gentleman's agreement that will sort of limit that talk just a little bit here.
You're right, though. They've recruited to such a crazy degree that, yes.
Our thing on the show was that the backup is better than the starter, and we're still going to have tons of fun with that.
Right.
I expect to, anyway, because we can every year. But as per things that announcers talk about and things that they talk about in the studio and certainly on message boards, like, man, if Tommy Stevens weren't on Penn State's roster, he could be playing like slot
Penn
receiver.
State message boards, yeah.
Yeah, so I think we're going to see a lot of that this year because there is a lot of depth around college football.
When you have Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields,
the rich
true
continue to get richer,
yeah.
and it's certainly something that at least kills 10 seconds of time during a broadcast.
I'm happy you took that pick because I don't think it's going to do that well.
Really?
Yeah.
This was your thing a year ago.
I know, but I learned. Little gamesmanship never hurt anybody.
Wow.
All right, so this next pick, the pick is in. Yeah.
With the next pick in the Fantasy Things Draft 2018, Dan Rubenstein selects kickers and punters taunting.
Yes! I don't care if this gets me 3 points over the course of the season. There is something that warms my heart.
So, okay, some recent examples of this. In the Outback Bowl earlier this year, Michigan kicker Quinn Nordine kicked a field goal at the end of the first half.
In a losing effort. Sorry. You threw the M in our face. That's true.
And then he went crotch grab.
Yeah.
He went.
It was the vicinity.
Like that's Baker Mayfield's move to go crotch grab.
Yeah.
But he went crotch. He yelled South Carolina's side, and then he went crotch grab, and then he went into the locker room, and then Michigan lost.
We've had. No, that'll happen. That's okay though.
It's fine
because we remember him fondly.
Sort of.
We've had Brad Wing, former LSU punter, taunt and get a touchdown called back a fake punt. We've had North Carolina's kicker in the win over Florida State a couple of years ago.
Okay.
We had the Auburn kicker. Everybody loves chomping Florida, which it feels so good.
Yeah.
It must. I don't know. The Auburn kicker chomping over Florida.
So here is the question I have for you.
Yeah.
There was a notable incident in 2015 when Ohio State lost to Michigan State.
You might have to be more specific. It happens so often. Continue.
Matt Geiger kicked a game-winning field goal and then ran the full length of the field doing like the windmill thing.
Yeah.
Does that count?
Oh my God, yes.
Is he really taunting or is he just celebrating by his own volition?
How much of a difference really is there? When a kicker is celebrating, everybody's like, holy shit, this kicker is sticking it to me. Like, this kicker feels so confident being alone on the sideline constantly. only being a 2-star during the recruiting process, having to be scouted out of a camp in like Australia.
Right.
And here is his moment to shine, and he shines, and he's going to celebrate however he wants. And he celebrates, and that sticks to every single person in the crowd who's disappointed. So I have to say yes. It can't just be a fist pump. It can't just be celebrating with teammates. But if he's running the length of the field, and to be honest, it probably exhausted him doing it, that counts.
Okay. So we'll
It's a
give you
happy moment.
a broad definition of the kicker taunt
Yes.
/ celebration.
Yes. Yeah,
I think that's a
absolutely.
good- I think that's
It's not going to
good.
do well for me, but it's going to bring me so much happiness.
When it happens, we're going to get a million tweets is what's going to
Yes,
happen.
that's
and that'll be
exactly
totally
right.
worth it. So
Yep.
kicker and punter taunting, please. Oh, man. I forgot about this pick.
Yeah, this one's a good one.
Psst. Are you enjoying the show so far? Yeah, you know you are. You know who else is enjoying it? Harry's. I've been using Harry's now for the last couple years to shave. Ever since they started supporting the verbal, I thought I'd give them an honest shot, and I have not looked back since. They stand behind their products, so much so that they've put a trial set together for just $13 that has everything you could possibly need for a close, comfortable shave. You get a 5-blade razor with a lubricating strip, trimmer blade, and weighted ergonomic handle. Plus a rich lathering shave gel, which I love, and in my opinion, an underrated travel blade cover. Make the switch like I did. At a minimum, claim your trial set today and see if Harry's is for you. You can check it out by going to harrys.com/solid. Again, that is harrys.com/solid. Today's show is also supported by our good friends over at Indochino. They've been making Verballers look snazzy for a couple years as well. They're the largest custom apparel company. Suits and shirts made to your exact measurements for a great fit. They've got high quality fabrics and honestly more customizations than you could possibly imagine. All you got to do is pick your favorite fabric and customizations, submit your measurements, and you're going to get the best suit you've ever worn in 3 weeks or less. This week, you can get any premium Indochino suit for just $379 by using the code SOLID when you order at Indochino.com. Again, that's 50% off the normal price, plus shipping is free. Go to Indochino.com, use the promo code SOLID, any premium suit for just $379 with free shipping.
Man,
This is what? So we're on pick number 7.
with the 7th pick in the 2018 Fantasy Things Draft.
Taylor, that was a great bit of timing with
Good
that.
timing.
Shout
Good
out
timing.
Taylor, yeah.
Dan Rubenstein selects Will Muschamp has seen the light.
Yeah. So every year, there's a coach who says to the world, yeah, we're going to do things differently.
That's right.
I don't know why he's Hulk Hogan, brother, but I mean, you look at him and you're like, that's how he probably talks. And we're going to go up tempo. We're going to spread things out.
Right.
We're going to get the ball to our playmakers in space. I don't know that he fully knows what he's saying when he says that.
Right.
And it only succeeds. Like Kansas gets the ball to playmakers in space, theoretically.
Right.
And there's something wonderful about, like, obviously Will Muschamp doesn't want to run this offense like this.
No.
He wants to put 53 guards in at one time and see if that works. So he's almost like Mr. Incredible sitting behind a desk, doesn't want to be there, doesn't want to be doing this, and is gritting his teeth saying, we're going to spread the ball out. We're going to get the ball to playmakers in space.
What cracks me up about this pick is if you did an ancestry DNA
You
of
don't
your
wanna do
first,
that. Yeah.
your first pick, this is definitely a second cousin of strength coach with a screw loose.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, really,
Yeah.
that's what this is all about.
Will Muschamp is a strength coach with like 7 more credits.
That's right.
Like he went to summer school and was like, oh, I can do trig. Yeah. He couldn't, but he got a passing grade.
How do we think South Carolina's going to do this year?
I think they'll do pretty good. I like how much they return.
I feel like you like South
There
Carolina
are specific
a lot
players.
more.
I love Debo Samuel. I think Jake Bentley is fine. I think their defense has enough experience. They've recruited top 25 classes, and their schedule is super easy.
Very easy.
Yeah, they have a good time.
I'm struck by the number of South Carolina emails we've gotten early in the year. Like, the season hasn't even started yet.
Right.
We've already done all of our previews, mind you, but this is sort of an indication that there might be some validity to this, that other South Carolina fans are feeling that maybe he's seen the light. Maybe there's been an epiphany of some sort, because they're emailing us asking for more information on South Carolina.
I remember seeing tweets of people at South Carolina spring practice going, "Hey, watch out, guys. They're moving quickly. They're snapping the ball over and over again." And like, they're playing against third stringers on the same team. Just relax a little bit. No, and the South Carolina emails are very nuanced annoyance, because we're like, oh, they're going to be pretty good, and they're like, pretty good? This is the South Carolina Gamecocks. We've had 2 good years in 50 years. Show some respect. That's what I hear when we get like the very strange to interpret emails.
We got that email.
Yeah.
We got that email multiple times.
And the guy, and listen, I like that people email us and share their opinions and
solidverbal@gmail.com.
We very rarely get follow-ups where we don't respond for whatever reason, and it's just like and it was like a very corporate, like, hey, just wanted to circle back on my South Carolina annoyance. Just if you guys had any thoughts.
Just following up, go Cox, yeah.
Did you guys sleep on it, or?
I forgot about that.
Yeah. It was surprisingly corporate. It was like, hey, just,
So we respond, a very nice gentleman.
Yeah.
Just like a really in-depth fan, but.
Yeah. I like that. I like that.
It's great.
He treated it like an inter-office email. Yeah. All right.
All right. Will Muschamp, give it up.
Okay. The pick is in. I love this. And this is Ty's pick. I love it. This was Ty's suggestion. This is Ty's pick.
This is my sleeper.
And Ty Hildenbrandt with, what is this, the 8th overall pick? Yes, we're on 8th
overall
pick.
Yeah.
Has selected studio host, has trouble controlling touchscreen. Holy shit, is that a good pick, Ty? Again, and you're going to explain this. It might happen 4 times. It might happen 37 times. But even if it happens once,
totally worth it.
Because, please explain yourself.
I thought this one up after waking up at 3:45 in the morning to catch an early morning Friday flight into town here. So it was a little punchy and a little sleep deprived. But you know how pretty much every studio show, and this is not just unique to sports.
Yeah.
This is
election coverage and
across
everything.
all
Weather
genres.
Channel. Yeah.
But, we've advanced as a society now where we can not only put a man on the moon, but we can, put...
Allegedly.
Right. we could put in everyone's pocket a touch screen that you can use to communicate with your friends. We have somehow not advanced to the point where they can scale that up into a jumbo studio grade size and still somehow make it workable. And I really, truly feel every time that let's throw it back to Adnan Virk.
Yep.
In the studio, let's see what's going on. Let's get a game break. And
I wonder if ESPN has rankings of futility of guys trying to use.
But it's always the same thing. So he's up there and he's like, well, let's.
What are your top 5 there? We love you, Adnan Virk.
And he has to touch it 8 times before the thing activates.
Well, I like it when there's an analyst. Like, I remember Chip Kelly used it last year. And I've watched, guys on the NFL Network, and they're very intense. They're focused on saying, I think this is a win for the Rams. This is not a win for the Rams, even though we're talking about college football. There is an element of, like with the playoff, like I think that's Matt Berry, all intents and purposes, really good at what he does. That they're so serious, especially the analysts, not the hosts, that they're like, I have Ohio State over TCU, and I don't care who. I have Ohio State over Hold on, Adnan, give me a second. I have Ohio State over. No, you have to press. You have to reboot. You have to. And there is something about somebody so intense about their feelings about the first playoff rankings,
where it's coming out of their mouth and mind faster than the interface will allow.
Right. Touch the corner before you touch the team. That's so good.
It's going to happen every week.
Right. And then there's sometimes, it's almost like watching a screensaver where like they grab the Ohio State rectangle, they start dragging
and it gets very
it's gonna
choppy.
Get there,
it's very
gonna
choppy.
get there, and then it slides back, and you're just like, Joey Galloway, if I have to tell you again. Yeah.
I love this.
It's great. It's a great pick.
I think this is going to
You're
going to
do well.
Let's give a hand for touchscreens.
Yeah. So quickly, I think we both have 4 storylines on our rosters, right? Here's a quick look. So Jimbo Fisher, Kyler Murray, that's other than the backup starting anywhere else, you're very good.
Man, I really wanted that Scott Frost.
Yeah.
Can we trade?
We're going to take that out of context.
Yeah, please.
I really want that
we can edit that out in post.
Now, here we have the strength coach. I feel pretty good, not great. I reached, but I wanted it. I paid a premium. I did. The taunting is not going to do well for me. The Muschamp, I don't know how you even score that. I think you're out ahead.
I am now.
Yeah.
But I felt like I was out ahead last year, too.
Okay.
And then you drafted some late. Mm-hmm. That you drafted the commercial with the lab coat and the dancing.
Oh, my God.
Remember that? That was cheating.
Talking.
That was virtually cheating.
That did so well for me.
That was so good.
Yeah, that was a penny stock that really paid dividends.
It really did well. So I feel pretty good about where I'm at the moment. But I know what's coming later, and I'm a little concerned.
Okay.
I was overconfident last year, so maybe I'm being, just a little bit sheepish. But
fair. So. As you have seen, you watch the NFL draft, even the NBA draft, this happens where they bring up a guest commissioner. Ty and I have been doing this for the first 8 picks, but we want to add some new seasoning to this roast.
Gotta spice it up.
Absolutely. So, if you could, what's Jim Harbaugh's official? No, sorry. If you could, please give, and I hope he's here, a big welcome from ESPN Radio Chicago host and producer, Adam Abdallah. Where is he? Boo!
He is here.
Yeah, keep on going.
There we go.
Does it work?
I think, whoa, we got a hot mic.
Yes. Hello.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Adam, how you doing?
I'm good. How's everybody doing?
Yeah!
That's just the thing you say when you get the microphone. How's everybody?
When you get a microphone, you're supposed to say, it's kind of like instead of saying check 1, 2, you say, how's everybody doing? So, how's everybody doing?
Boo him!
Boo, yeah, you can boo.
Yeah. All right, so Adam is a guest commissioner for us for the next few picks. He is going to review the picks with us, tell us why we're dumb, tell us why the pick is brilliant. He's going to read the pick, and then I think he should both serve as the commissioner and, how's your Mel Kiper impression?
Great, yeah, I mean, I'll work on it. It's a work in progress.
Work in progress.
I'll work on it here.
Okay.
Live.
So who's up? Am I up?
I think, Ty, you appear to be up.
Yes.
I am up. Okay. Oh.
Is the pick in?
The pick is in.
The pick is in. Do I have to get up so they can boo me
Absolutely.
again?
I forgot that I had this pick.
I love this emotion.
With the 9th pick in the Solid Verbal Fantasy Things draft, Ty drafts Herm Edwards' NFL Mindset.
Yes! Appropriately, is he the Jimmy Clausen, just free falling Herm Edwards in this draft?
This could be game over for you, Dan.
Yeah, or Brady Quinn if that makes you feel better. Yeah.
So if we could recap, that was low.
A lot of Brady Quinn love.
We've got Notre Dame shirts over here.
Okay.
That was not nice.
He's probably very nice.
All right, so the new head football coach at Arizona State is a gentleman by the name of Herm Edwards. Mm-hmm. You know the last time Herm Edwards coached football? It was about 10 years ago.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. You know the last time Herm Edwards coached college football?
That ever?
1989 as an assistant at San Jose State.
Yep. Adam, what year were you born?
1984.
5 years old. We all remember Herm Edwards. Would you say San Jose State?
San Jose State.
Okay.
So it's been a while for Herm. He's been with various broadcast outlets for the, duration of his stay away from football. He is 64 years of age, 64 years young.
Yep.
But even when he was a coach in the NFL, wasn't all that good.
Yeah, your voice goes up when you talk about Herm Edwards.
He had 8 seasons as a head football coach,
Right.
only 3 of which were winning seasons. Most of those were in the beginning of his tenure.
Right.
So it's not like we're talking about like, oh, Jimmy Johnson's going to back to the college game.
Right.
We're talking about a guy who just is very motivational.
Right.
Has a way of firing people up. So this seemed a bit doomed from the start when ASU announced that they were going to hire him, because no one saw it coming. And also in the introductory press conference, the athletic director literally went up in front of whoever was watching and said, guys, this is a weird pick. I know this is a weird hire.
Could you imagine telling that to your parents the first time they met a new boyfriend or girlfriend? Like, listen,
just give it a chance.
Some idiosyncrasies, I grant you.
But he went up there, said, I realize this is a weird pick. And then he turned it over to Herm's agent.
Yeah.
Not Herm himself, but he turned it over to Herm's agent to sort of be like the hype man. And then he came out and he said, listen, Herm's going to put up a lot of points on the scoreboard of life.
Yep. Who's to say he won't?
Scoreboard of life. And then Herm came up and he did his little spiel. He had people, of course, feeling like they wanted to run through a wall after he talked, because that's what he does. But still remains a bit unclear what the new, quote-unquote, new leadership model is going to be at ASU.
Right.
He's going to serve in a capacity where he's more of a head coach, more of a figurehead. We'll see how that goes. I'm not totally convinced. ASU should be relatively, okay this year. They've got a lot back from a year ago, but I honestly have no idea which direction this whole thing's going to go. And he's just motivated enough, passionate enough that he's going to find his way into publications and national television.
So to get points, somebody has to mention that he's bringing in an NFL mindset, organizational structure.
A different model, yeah.
Adam, who's your team? Do you have a team?
I'm an Alabama fan.
Oh, come on.
Roll Tide.
Do you root for the dealer at the casino? Who?
Sometimes, yes. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Actually,
I'm rooting for the rain.
My wife today just asked me, she goes, is it fun when it's the same people over and over again? I go, yeah, it is when it's
Why are you an Alabama fan?
It's a lot of fun.
Are you from there?
No, I'm not from there, as you can tell by my accent. I lived overseas for a while, and when I came back here, I had a geographically convenient friend who was an Alabama fan, and I didn't know what college football was, so I started watching Alabama. Roll Tide. And I went to Columbia College, so it's just a bunch of art school kids running around. So
fair. Okay. I was gonna ask you how you would feel if your team hired Herm Edwards, but it would never happen. And if it did, it'd
be awesome. Look, he's going to have a great press conference, and he's going to try to do a lot of NFL things and have an NFL mindset. I just wonder if he's going to forget he's coaching college football.
Well,
he's going to think he's coaching in the NFL again and try to do NFL things.
What's so funny about that is, again, same press conference, or maybe it was a different one, I don't remember, but a press conference, somebody from Devil's Digest asked Herm a question. And he's like, hey man, I'm Catholic. We don't talk. I don't do the devil.
We don't talk about devils.
Yeah. I do know one thing though.
And it was just unclear if he knew that the Sun Devil was the actual mascot for Arizona State.
Yeah.
The one thing I do know is that he's going to teach those kids how to be men. That's the one thing I do know. And he's going to do it well.
And he is going to prepare for week 14. Who do we got? Week 14. And Herm, the seasons. I think as an add-on to this pick, you should get 2019 ASU coaching rumors. You should get.
That's a good one.
We should be able to give you that as well.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree. Yeah.
The pick is in.
The pick is in.
I'm not going to get up again. I don't like getting booed. It kind of hurt. Dan was right. With the 10th pick in the Solid Verbal Fantasy Things draft, Dan selects, and this is written down here.
Yeah, it is.
The goddamn fade.
Yeah. I hate describing GIFs out loud. GIFs, I don't care. With a Jaguar fan, NFL, it's just what are we? Anytime you watch your team on 3rd and goal, 4th and goal, throw it to nobody in the corner of the end zone, just up in the vicinity.
Towards the pylon, yeah.
It's an ulcer. It works 0.0009% of the time. And that man kills me. He did it at Oregon. He did it at Cal. He did it when he was a special fade coordinator at Washington. And like there has, 3 out of 127 quarterbacks are probably pretty good at throwing fades.
It's like the most carnal of football plays.
Yes.
You got a big dude go up and get it. But in college, you don't always have a lot of big dudes that can go up and get it.
Think about the number of hours these guys spend in their offices, watching film, drawing up plays.
Flood the zone right, flood the zone left, pick plays. Yeah.
They're running RPOs, they're running crossing, whatever. They're running seam, man beat, whatever. And then in a crucial moment, they're like, why don't we just throw it to the pylon? Why don't we we're overthinking things. And you know what? This pick is going to be a cash cow.
Yeah, I mean, the funny thing about this pick is when the team goes after third down into a timeout, after running the fade on third down, and they're like, should we go for it?
Here comes something special.
What are we going to do next? Just another fade.
Just another fade.
4th and goal line, let's go fade yet again.
Yeah.
Is there a more defensive, offensive play in college football or football as a whole?
No, because the quarterback can sort of blame the receiver can sort of blame the quarterback, the coordinator can blame the timing, and everybody just blames each other, and that's why it is the worst. And that's why I took it, because it's going to happen. He's a head coach once again. Jeff Tedford. Get out of here.
At least you get points out of something you hate.
Yes, I do. It will give me some fulfillment. I think the pick is in. Yes.
With the 11th pick in the Solid Verbal Fantasy Things draft, Dan selects Dean Blandino is wrong.
Okay. I almost feel like we can just go to the next pick. Because everybody's like, yes, of course, that is a pick that should happen. This is a thing that we should celebrate. A guy who looks like that being wrong about something he's very confident in. Okay, so for the uninitiated, I'm looking at you because you're here against your will. I'm going to explain this out because it brings me happiness once again. Dean Blandino is the former NFL head of rules, and now he's doing stuff for the NCAA, but part of that means he's doing things for Fox Sports, and he is the Mike Pereira. He comes in, they cut into his little studio setup when there's a questionable call and the refs are reviewing things, and he says, well, from my angle, from what I can see, it's definitely targeting. And then so often they go back to the fields, and the ref's like, no, it was not targeting. We have never seen a moment that was less targeting. They didn't even touch. And like sometimes Dean Blandino will come back to him, he's like, yeah, I don't know. Sometimes it's just
for the moment,
50-50.
it's tough under the hood.
First of all, his name is Dean Blandino. And being able to say Dean Blandino wrong again. Like Blandino as like the great Blandino sounds like
a magician.
It sounds like the worst magician. And in a way, isn't he
kind of the worst?
Because he turns correct calls into.
You could really run the gamut from magician to car dealership.
Yeah.
With a name like Blandino.
Oh yeah, Blandino. I can't even say Blandino without losing it. I'm mopping things up right now.
Wow.
I think a lot like the touchscreen guys, Blandino and the rest of the guys that do this for the NFL, for the various networks, need their own scoring system.
Yes.
So they should get like a right and wrong, and they should, when the ref eventually goes, no, that wasn't targeting, you should get a little check mark in the, you're wrong, and you should add it up so by the end of the season, you know how many times Dean Blandino was actually wrong.
And do you know what he does at the end of the season? Teaches referees for the NCAA. Oh, it's wonderful. Oh, Ty,
this is a good pick. When we saw this pick last night and we were putting this together, this was another giggle fest for me.
Yep.
Which is a weird way to phrase it, but yeah, that was.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh God,
his giggle fest.
This is gonna kill me. This is gonna kill me.
Yeah.
Dean Blandino.
Dean Blandino. And ladies and gentlemen, please do not boo, but give a very enthusiastic, warm applause. Adam Abdallah.
Roll Tide.
No, that you can boo him about that. That's fine. Listen to him on the radio. He's very good. Should we bring up another commissioner?
We do have another commissioner.
Okay.
We do have another Chicago native.
Yeah.
With us. He's been featured on the program before. He's been featured at a live show before.
Yep.
Would you like to introduce our next commissioner?
Yeah, it's America's sweetheart, Adam Amin. Is he here?
see my legs. And so you decided to dress like a substitute teacher, and I decided to dress like it was the first day of school.
There's a sticker where that came from.
How's it going, man?
Everything's going great. How are you guys doing? That's what you're supposed to say, right?
It works.
Yeah, it does work. Automatically elicits a response, whether they want to or not.
Who is Adam Amin?
Adam Amin is noted college football broadcaster for ESPN and Solid Verbal favorite.
Oh
so
my gosh,
we sort of had this thing with Adam. We do what we call a secret verbal on our show, okay, where it's a long show and we're not totally convinced people are still listening to us at, the 75-minute mark.
Right.
So maybe if we...
Right around the threshold, I think, is where it comes
people
in.
People are like, you know what, I'm already at work and I'm not going to listen while I'm there. We decide that we're going to just throw out like an Easter egg in our show. And if in fact you're still listening and you have the Twitters, why not just go ahead and tweet this random thing at this random person?
Untraceable, basically. It's very mean.
It is very mean. But
it was tremendously clandestine. So I had no idea what was happening. I was in a hotel room in Chestnut Hill, Massachusetts, getting ready for Clemson Boston College, when suddenly my phone started to blow up.
And what did we ask people to?
It was beefy.
No.
Was it?
No.
It was a milkshake.
Oh, that was different. That's right.
Yeah, it was milkshakes. When can we? I had various questions like, when can we share a milkshake? If you and I were to share a milkshake in this fantasy world that we have somehow constructed via social media, what kind of milkshake would you and I consume? And would we do it through one or two straws?
We're not good people, Ty and I.
My preference, by the way, is one.
So eventually we tell people, and sometimes people get annoyed and start blocking people. Sometimes people send angry emails or direct messages, whatever. Adam responded positively, and he was just like, I don't know, Oreo?
I think I retweeted every single one just for the sake. I was like, I don't know exactly what's happening right now because I hadn't heard the episode up until that moment, but I committed to it. I said, you know what? I'm just going to keep retweeting this until somebody slipped. I think somebody, unfortunately, maybe they're in this room right now, they slipped and said you should listen to a particular podcast. And I was like, oh, of course.
Yeah.
Somebody's always like, I can't keep
and it happened in a very short amount of time. Like within a couple hours, I was like, it didn't register to me right away. And then somebody said, podcast, and I said, you son of a, I knew it right away. And from then on, I feel like we've been connected at the hip.
We messaged him and we had him on, and basically Adam was like, you harassed me with milkshake requests. Can we be friends? That's the kind of person Adam
which is typically the way to my heart, I think, more than anything else.
All right. So should we have the pick come in?
It's my pick again.
It is Ty's pick, and the pick is in. With the 12th pick in the 2018 Fantasy Things Draft, Ty Hildebrand selects Announcers Flub Digital Trends.
Yes.
Which I need a significant level of context for, if you please.
There may or may not be a reason that we brought you up here to announce this pick, being so you are an announcer. A good one. When I came up with this, I was thinking specifically about Sean McDonough and Todd Blackledge trying to talk about Fortnite.
He knows those people.
This is to me what Dean Blandino is to Dan. This is going to stick with me for the rest of the night, potentially the rest of the week, and definitely when Sean McDonough shows up on opening day. When he's doing Miami and LSU with Todd Blackledge and Holly Rowe, I am going to just start laughing uncontrollably.
Because there was an incident, I don't remember when it was, but way back when with Blackledge, where Mike Patrick just randomly starts talking about Britney Spears. I want
to say it was during a Georgia game, I think 2008 or 2009, in that range, in a crucial moment of the Georgia game.
He's like, what is Britney doing with her career? And Todd Blackledge goes to like this pregnant pause, like, what? I don't know. Why do I care?
Yeah. I think that might have been a direct quote. Todd would, why do we care about that right now? There's 20 seconds left in this game, and they're lining up for a field goal.
And then Mike Patrick just went right into the call. Like it never happened.
like it never existed at any point ever during the broadcast.
So I'm not talking specific to McDonough and Blackledge, both of whom are legendary broadcasters in their own right. But I'm just thinking, like, especially the Fortnite thing is, of course, very popular as a video game for people who aren't on the up and up with this thing. I tried it. I'm terrible.
It's like
I'm
The
awful.
Sims meets GoldenEye. Is that what it sort of is?
No.
Wow.
I think you can hit
just the
people with
look of it,
shovels
yeah.
and build worlds and shoot people with crossbows.
Kinda.
Yeah.
It's really hard.
Okay,
And
great.
every time I try it, I get dusted by like a 12-year-old in Holland.
My 11-year-old nephew beats me every single time and then proceeds to talk trash, and it really does hurt my feelings.
But so here's what's funny about this. So this is what kind of got me thinking digital trends. There's more to digital trends than just Fortnite. But if you Google college football and Fortnite,
it's a big deal.
You will see an alarming number of articles that have been written. There was one in USA Today by our friend Paul Meyerberg, who wrote a really cool article on like, yeah, teams are really getting into this. And then there are other people who are like taking it a step further, like, what can Ohio State learn from their Fortnite strategy? Oh my God, this is going to be a thing.
There's a seamy Fortnite underbelly of college football.
There is.
I think it's just now being discovered by those who weren't on the up and up.
So
prior.
at some point, somehow, some way, there are going to be poor announcers who are forced into talking about this. And it's going to be awkward. It could be you.
So I have a new partner this year. I'm working with Rod Gilmore this season. Which
he definitely plays.
And if I bring up Fortnite, I'm very excited to see what my brand new partner Rod Gilmore has to say about Fortnite.
Mm-hmm. But it's not just.
So feel free to. I feel like I'm giving them a disadvantage, or I'm giving Dan a disadvantage right now.
You are, because you can alter this.
I'm basically altering the state of your fantasy
So
things
do we
draft
not
right now.
count Adam Amin?
Yeah, Adam is exempt from this. He's too close.
Yeah,
I think I'm too close.
Adam is recused from this.
I will
But think
recuse
about-
myself. I will recuse myself from the Fortnite reference.
Think of the number of stories where something comes out in an Instagram story or on Snapchat or on Facebook or on God knows whatever new app comes out, and all of a sudden Tim Brando is faced. Like, could you imagine showing Tim Brando an app store and be like, all right, go to town, Tim? He's like, We had another one, and we're going to go through our undrafted free agents. I don't know if it made the list, but somebody suggested any play-by-play announcer calling the analyst pardoner.
That's a Brett Musburger
That's
thing.
every week. It's Musburger, it's Nestler, and I would want if any of those other play-by-play guys are listening, just bring up Instagram stories and see what they have
I was
to
flipping
say.
through the gram today, and if you hear that, that's probably an undrafted free agent somewhere.
Yeah, just like a shorthand for it. But this extends to not only the video game thing, not only social media, but like wearable technology.
Of course,
like
GPS.
Chip Kelly is really instituting an up-paced system at UCLA, but he's doing it through technology. So there's a whole bunch of different
Well, then you're
tentacles
going to
that
get the
apply.
older guys saying, I don't use FaceGram or InstaSmash or Snapbook, and they think it's funny, and it is, but it becomes tiring. Ty, do we have a pick that's in?
We do have a pick, but I want to get a round of applause for this because I love this pick.
Oh my God.
It's well picked. Wait, I want to time this one out with Taylor like Ty does. With the 13th pick in the 2018 Fantasy Things Draft. I love that.
Right on cue.
Ty Hildenbrand selects Notre Dame quarterback questions.
Of course.
Oh, how deep into the season are we gonna get?
I know,
Before
that's
that,
the
how
question.
deep into Game 1 against Michigan are we gonna get before we start getting one of these?
In keeping with tradition, I have selected the most bitterly sarcastic Notre Dame item available on the board.
This is just Ty working through things on stage. This isn't an actual pick.
No. So we came up with a couple different ways that we thought we might want to word this. And originally it was Brian Kelly's quick hook, which I think could apply here. It did apply at the end of last year. We decided to keep it broad and go with quarterback. So here is where we last left the boys in South Bend, Dan. When we last left the boys in South Bend.
The Gold Dome crew, yeah.
The Golden Domas.
Honey, I think the old football game is on the television tube.
Take it out of the box. I don't know how to use it. What are all these crazy knobs? Yeah. Sorry, keep going.
I hear Glenn Miller's playing tonight. All right. Is that a little too far inside for some of the people?
No, it's good. I did in the mood. Keep going.
When we last left
Sorry.
the boys in South Bend, the hero was a backup quarterback. The hero in the Citrus Bowl was Ian Book.
Of course.
Notre Dame's backup. Now, he didn't play most of the year. Their starting quarterback was Brandon Wimbush, Brandon Wimbush looked good in spots. And he was a prolific runner, ran for 800-plus yards, had 14 touchdowns on the ground. To his credit, he also did throw for 16 touchdowns.
Sure.
But it didn't feel like he got better at any point in time. And he never particularly got much more confident. He always seemed like a scared bunny back there when in the face of a blitz or a key situation. And so this kind of like, for people who follow Notre Dame football, it's like, I don't know how I feel about this in a key situation.
Right.
We know now how Brian Kelly felt about it in a key situation in some spots late, particularly that bowl game when he went to the backup quarterback, Ian Book. Ian Book comes in, throws for 164.
What bowl game is this again?
Citrus Bowl.
Ooh, okay.
I'm saying, this is a big one.
Yeah.
But he throws for 164 yards, 2 touchdowns, one of which was an acrobatic catch by Miles Boykin to win the football game. He's the hero.
Yep.
He came in, he had a swagger. So now all offseason it's been percolating. Like, what do we do with the quarterback situation? We've seen this play before from Brian Kelly, and it didn't work out very well.
Right.
A couple years ago with Sean Kaiser and Malik Zaire. So I'm a little worried about this, Dan.
Okay.
I'm a little worried about where this ends up going because not only do we now have Brandon Wimbush, who played most of the year, we also have Ian Book, who came in a tight spot and did very well for himself, and we have the unicorn, the true freshman, who we haven't seen him play yet, but he's always a very popular guy on the team. Right?
Yep.
Phil Jerkovic, who's from Western Pennsylvania. We got a clap, yeah? All right.
1, 2.
I'll be in on that.
People.
I'll be in on that train by week 3.
Yeah.
And so there's just like a lot of variables, and I'm not totally confident in Brian Kelly's ability to deal with those questions. So this is going to be a thing. Thank you. This is going to be a thing.
Sorry for you, Ty.
Where is your level of concern for the 2 offensive linemen that are top 10 picks. You lost your lead running back to
which by the way, could have been a fantasy things pick too. 2 linemen. Hey, you got a lot.
Well, the Notre Dame offensive line coach, now the offensive line coach in Chicago, Harry Heastan, and I talked to him the other day. He said those are the 2 best offensive linemen I've coached in my entire career.
Yeah,
and that says a lot. And granted, when they're both top 10 draft picks, I don't think he's going.
Fired at Mike Golick Jr. I hear that. I hear you.
I'm going to text Mike and let him know. You really need to listen right around the 1 hour and 24-minute mark, just to get that shot fired right at you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not as concerned about the line. You lose 2 top 10 picks, that's a big deal. But they have recruited really well along that line. I think they're going to be fine. Defensively, they should be pretty stout as well, even though their defensive coordinator went down to Jim Fisher in Texas A&M.
But the guy who came in is a Mike Elko disciple, so to speak.
There's enough continuity to feel pretty good about it. So the team is going to be good. It just feels like the real limiting factor is going to be that quarterback position. And so with all the pressure kind of coming down on Wimbush and then by extension Brian Kelly, I'm worried.
You've literally become the LSU of independent football teams.
Oh. I don't know who that's more insulting.
Every position is filled out with an All-American type player.
That's true.
Except for the one position that you are concerned with.
By the way, Brandon Wimbush could be the starter on LSU.
That's true.
So could Ian Book.
That's true. So after hearing a lot about Notre Dame.
Who was talking to you about Notre Dame, Dan, just out of curiosity?
Talking at me. I just want the end result of this draft to be like an Oklahoma drill between Touchscreen and Blandino. That's all I want. Just week after week, just mashing each other. That's all I want. Good pick.
It's going to happen.
Excellent pick.
Don't clap for that. Please don't. Please keep it to yourself.
This is a moment of silence for the 13th pick.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is the final pick now. The pick is in, but we have undrafted free agents and a Q&A. The pick is in.
Ooh, all right. With the 14th and final pick in the 2018 Fantasy Things Draft, Dan Rubenstein selects overly emphatic Tunga Vailoa. Because let me tell you, when an announcer finally learns this name, oh, do we drill this name like there is no tomorrow. Tua Tagovailoa has taken over at quarterback for Alabama. And by the way, could be starting on any other team in the country. So that could be a double whammy for you.
There was always something great about Brent Musburger, which is why we have him on there, when he clicks with the name, as Adam mentioned. And last year it happened for me on our show when I was like, all right, Hercules Mataafa. Hercules. And then it was just like, Hercules Mataafa. And it feels so good to say.
Well, the other thing, we've talked about this on our show, former MLB commentator John Miller.
Oh, yes. Legend.
Still works for the Giants on radio.
John Miller gets a little too into the Spanish accent.
He does.
Miguel Tejada.
I've
Carlos
never heard
Beltran.
Carlos Beltran and Juan Uribe. That was probably my favorite one.
Yeah.
Did you ever see the SNL sketch where I think it was Jimmy Smith's and it was like an office party and they brought in Mexican food and he was like, yeah, I think I'll have some enchiladas. And it was wonderful. And there is an element of that with these announcers. Tua Tagovailoa, the youngster from the islands. And it's going to happen do you have an Alabama game? You did last year.
I did Tua's first game and the national championship game. So I had it down pat. So I emphasized it as soon as he came in. And I think he came into the second quarter. They were playing Jeff Tedford's Fresno State Bulldogs at home. And as soon as he came in, we were like, oh, we are ready for this. We are going to nail this story. He's a Marcus Mariota buddy in Hawaii. And we had everything. And then Anthony Becht, I was filling in on a crew that weekend. And Anthony Becht ended up saying it incorrectly the first time. So, not to throw Anthony under the bus too much, because we got it eventually together. But
by the way, Marcus Mariota's first game starting was a Joe Test game, who's doing Monday Night Football now.
Who is the Monday? I think I know exactly what you're going to say.
And for 4 quarters, we got Marcus Mariota. Mariota. And he was doing that in the booth.
And what was so great about that, when he first came out, when Marcus first took the field, Joe said it that way and then said, and folks, that is how you pronounce his name.
Let me tell you about how history and kindness work with that enunciation.
Mariota, and that is, folks, how you pronounce his name. And I'm like, no.
This isn't going to age well, Joe. It's not going to do well. That was wonderful.
We kicked around a few other Tua options.
Yes.
This was clearly the strongest one. What if we just do his name? The name it's like the low-hanging fruit, but this will be a thing.
Can we take a look at the rosters, the final rosters, by the way? Look, okay, here we have, you finished people are hissing about
a saucy Tagovailoa.
The Herms NFL list, I don't know how often that's going to happen back half of the season. If they're bad, they're not going to, they might make fun of it.
The Great Blandino is really good.
Great Blandino.
That's so good.
I'll tell you, can I give you a quick analysis?
Yeah, give us some third-party analysis here.
I'm not sure how much we're going to see the first one for you, Dan. The crazy strength coach, Luce. I'm not sure how often we're going to see it.
Sure. Well, he is.
Now when we get it, they are going to blow it out.
Yes.
And mark your announce crews. When Holly Rowe does a game, so that's with Sean McDonough and Todd Blackledge, you can almost count on there being a strength coach reference at some point, because typically they do big games. They'll always do a big game. Oftentimes they'll have an SEC game. And oftentimes that's when we talk about the strength and conditioning coaches,
right?
Because everybody's heard so much about Nick Saban and Gus Malzahn, and we've already heard the entire story about every coaching staff in the SEC. So where do we go? We go straight to the crazy strength. So SEC games and the Holly Rowe games, I think, are big, and they're going to blow those out. So that's where I think you're going to make your hay more often than not on that. I love the taunting kickers and punters for you.
Yep.
New Muschamp's great. The Blandino is going to win you a lot of points, I guarantee. For those of you watching the big game on Fox every weekend. And then for Ty, Jim, that's a sterling number 1 pick.
Yeah.
75, because that's
solid, right?
That's
just got to go solid.
The biggest storyline at Texas A&M. They make the most money just about of any college program. They went all out on this head coaching hire in terms of money and length of contract. That's going to be talked about relentlessly. They're going to show Kyler baseball pictures. I'm feeling Ty in the early going.
Should we take a straw poll here?
I think we know now. No, we just got a polite smattering. Ty's team. Who thinks Ty's team wins this?
There are a couple of people who have just voted present.
Yeah. Where are my Blandinites? I think you have that. I know. I think you have it. Okay, fair. Do we want to? Adam can stay up here. Do you want to blitz through our undrafted free agents real quick?
Sure. So we've got like a big list here. Like we really put some effort into this.
Dumb.
And there were many that didn't make the cut.
Yeah, let's go.
Mike Leach says or tweets something wacky or problematic.
Yep.
Always a good bet. Always a good
Chip
bet.
Kelly went 46-7 at Oregon.
Everybody knows this.
This one could be like, this one could be a steal.
Yeah.
Khalil Tate is Kevin Sumlin's new Johnny Manziel.
Guess who has Khalil Tate week 1? Just so you know. That is going to be a direct quote now from, in that broadcast.
We're polluting college football. That's what it comes down to. We become friends with people who can affect things, and it's very bad.
So do I have to go on administrative leave now, too? Is that what's going to end up happening?
Oh. He's going to cut that from the broadcast.
It's gone. Bad week, everybody. It was a bad week.
Yeah, next.
Jim Harbaugh's make or break season.
It has to be, yeah.
The seat continues to get hotter as the season goes on.
Do we have any Michigan fans here? I know we got one. Do you think it's really a make or break season for Jim Harbaugh?
No, not really.
I don't either.
No.
He makes too much money and he does too much to bring in more revenue in terms of publicity for the program.
Turnover chain variations and sideline props.
We had the Kennesaw State turnover plank, which is so much better than the chain. Next.
Marching band gets in trouble for a halftime show or anything considered distasteful.
I like that. It's only Stanford, though, so that's not a great pick. Kansas does have,
lightning delay with shots of lightning and fans headed out of seats.
I like that.
Again, not high frequency, but a heavy hitter when it does show up.
Yes.
Footage or a photo of a player's parent playing college or pro sports.
Yeah, I like that. A lot of Patrick Mahomes money there.
Patrick Surtain.
Patrick Surtain, you're going to get some cash with that. Next.
Lane Kiffin Twitter trolling.
Yeah, obviously.
Early and often.
Here you go, Adam. Camera captures fan yelling profanity or giving the finger.
When we did Washington State USC last year on our Friday night package, I think we had 7 separate shots of somebody just looking right. Somehow, I don't know how fans somehow find the camera directly across from them and how they can see the red light that just happens to be on, because cameras, when we switch on broadcast, the red light of whatever camera's being taken on the actual show does light up. So I don't know how fans have eagle eye that they can see it from across the stadium, but somehow, with
standby finger, take finger. Yeah.
That's what it sounds like at the control room. So we had 7 separate fingers being thrown out there on the Palouse that night. Go Cougs.
Here's a good one. Very quiet.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm ready.
You need to explain escaped zoo animal charges into or creates violent, bloody havoc on game day's Coke Zero Real Fan Zone.
Yeah. No, that one's out there, I admit. Again, read that one more time.
Escaped zoo animal charges into or creates violent, bloody havoc on game days Coke Zero, I can't even say all these words, Real Fan Zone.
The Coke Zero Real Fan Zone, there becomes bloody havoc when an escaped zoo animal makes its way into and through the fans.
Again, low frequency.
Low frequency.
But perhaps the heaviest of hitters when that does come to fruition. That's the Daron Payne catching a touchdown of Fantasy Things draft picks.
But I mean, could you imagine game day's set is completely abandoned, people are terrified, and all of a sudden there is a herd of giraffes that are just pummeling. That's why they give them the Home Depot helmets. Yes.
College game day on Safari this afternoon.
Yeah. I had to Google for a solid 20 minutes whether or not it was the Cheez-It or Coke Zero Real Fan Zone for that complete throwaway garbage joke.
All right. Let's see. NFL coaches picking Lincoln Riley's brain.
Yep.
JT Daniels reclassified and should still be in high school.
Should still be in high school. Should be at his prom in October.
Is Texas back?
Who knows? Who's to say?
PJ Fleck's tie knot overwhelms his head and obstructs his vision.
Yeah.
It could happen.
I thought I saw 2 Minnesota fans walk in. Do we have 2 Minnesota fans walk in?
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay, all right.
Well,
I wasn't sure if we had.
Well,
we
they're
had
too
them.
polite to cheer.
Oh. Or maybe there was the 2 Arizona State fans with the maroon on. That's probably
Yes.
what I thought they were.
Any other standouts? It's fine if there aren't.
We got players-only meetings.
Love a players-only meeting.
And we'll close out with this one.
Yeah.
Fan gets novelty tattoo.
Yes.
That's gonna be a game day story from Tom Rinaldi at some point, right?
Mm-hmm.
It has to be.
We wanted to include Tom Rinaldi comedy bit because, again, they keep doing them for some reason, and they're always bad.
And every now and again, he just like tries it.
Yes.
Let's just throw this out into the wild. And
Goes
see what
behind a podium, does some kind of read, and then goes, enough of this, and then hits the podium, knocks
Right.
it over, and walks off. And because it's Tom Rinaldi, it's got a quaint charm to it.
Ty, I think
Dan.
the draft is closed.
All right. Thank you,
and
Mr.
gentlemen.
Commissioner.
Adam Amin.
Adam Amin.
Thank you guys. Thank you, everybody.
Not many people know this, but there are 7 Adam Amins that roam the countryside. He's all over the place.
So there you go. These are our 7 picks.
Yes.
Per side.
Yeah.
You like yours. Mm-hmm. I like mine.
Yes.
The audience here has weighed in.
Yes.
We're going to put this out into the wild on Wednesday, I think,
Okay.
and we'll see what kind of South Carolina emails we get.
Circling back here.
Just
Heard you making fun of me. I get it. I set up a meeting. If you want to dial in, here's the code.
So what we would encourage everyone to do is please, if you haven't already, tweet or use the gram, hashtag fantasy things. Let us know what you think about our teams here. We'll be we'll be very what's the word I'm looking for?
I don't know.
We'll
I'm
retweet
leaving you out on
We'll
this
retweet you. We'll retweet you.
Yeah.
And just try to keep the conversation going. Also, if you didn't already know, we are going to be meeting afterwards.
Yep.
At a place called
Mariota? Yeah.
Standard Bar.
Standard Bar, about 10-minute walk away. Hashtag tenders with Ty. Ty eats a lot of chicken tenders. He can put them away.
Where'd this come from?
We have the second floor. I don't know. We have the second floor. Just give my name or the show's name or something like that. But before we do so, Ty,
Yeah.
you want to answer some questions?
I think we're going to answer some
Let's
questions.
answer some questions. People have questions. I think if we can get that, that's the only mic that works.
That's the only mic that works.
So why don't if we can raise hands or line up in some orderly fashion. I don't know. We'll answer anything. And you should know this. Ty will cut the recording now.
Yes.
So we can be honest.
Well, I won't cut it yet because we have to do the official outro. Here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine.
So
Later.
we need a round of applause.
Yes.
My name is Ty Hildenbrandt. That man over there is Dan Rubenstein. Thank you for joining us here for our live Fantasy Things Draft 2018.
Yeah.
Stay solid.
Peace.